Now that we have everything out of the way, folks, it's that time you've all been waiting for. It's time for some Glacier highlights.
We are live and back in action here in Anchorage, Alaska. Another great matchup on hand in the Alaska Baseball League between the Matsu Miners and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Welcome into the broadcast. This is Brad Walker. Alongside me is Connor Mills. The Miners stepping onto the turf tonight, 21-13. And the home team, the Pilots, are 14-17. So a battle between the first and fourth place teams in the Alaska Baseball League. The Miners coming off quite a tough loss last night in Chugiak. They dropped that one to the Chinooks 7-5. So they look to avenge that loss and try to get above 500 on the road today at Mulcahy Stadium. The Miners lineup will go as follows, leading things off, the left fielder out of Grand Canyon University, Kona Quiggle, followed by the first baseman from Oral Roberts, Spencer Henson. The second baseman from UC Davis, Caleb Van Blake's in the 3 spot. Cleaning things up today from the Miners is the man in right, also from Gonzaga, Austin Pinarini. He's followed up by a fellow Gonzaga teammate, designated hitter Nick Brooks. In the 6th spot is catcher Aaron Walters from Texas A&M. And the third baseman Tyler Bozetti from the University of Nevada, Reno, bats 7th. In the 8th spot is center fielder out of the University of New Mexico, Braden Merritt. And rounding things off, batting 9th, shortstop Drew Swift. They'll face the right-hander from Anchorage, Alaska, in courtesy of Grand Canyon University, Dalton Chapman, who has a 1-4 record this year in 5 starts, a 2.79 ERA, and 29 innings pitched, has struck out 19 and walked 11. This is the 3rd time he'll be seeing the Miners. Currently has an 0-2 record in 11 innings pitched, has given up 3 runs, all earned to the Miners squad, and has walked 4 and struck out 6. So Kona Quiggle steps in from the left side of the dish, a little righty on lefty matchup to begin this ball game. Chapman will work from the windup. His first pitch of the ball game swung on and missed by Kona Quiggle. We're underway here from Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. So Kona steps up to the dish, batting .286 this season with 14 runs driven in. Chapman's second pitch, this is fouled off to the left side and out of play. So Kona will go behind in the count 0-2 to begin the game.
And one thing Kona has done well all season long is he's taken these 0-2 counts. He's gotten a lot of walks and been able to stay alive.
0-2 count to Kona Quiggle, the leadoff man of this ball game. Chapman's pitch misses high with a fastball. The count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody out. So Chapman looking for his 20th strikeout of the season to this leadoff batter. So he looks in, the step back, leg kicks up. Kona Quiggle will foul yet another one off. So he stays alive at 1-2 with nobody out. Kona has had a strikeout in his past 5 games played. So he looks to end that streak tonight, but currently sitting behind in the count 1-2. Chapman winds and deals. Kona Quiggle fights it off yet again. So staying alive in the count 1-2.
And this is what I'm talking about. He just stays alive, fouls off a lot of pitches, sees a lot of balls, and makes the starter work extra.
So Chapman on the mound was an all-star for this Anchorage Pilots squad. Heading the count 1-2. His pitch looked out by Kona Quiggle. Home plate umpire Nate DeSantis said he went. So that'll be a strike 3 as Presno throws down to first for out number 1. With that first out, we'll go over the Pilots' defensive alignment. Behind the plate tonight is Zach Presno. Over in the hot corner, Jordan Aruda. Second base is Ryan Knowles. Over at first, Aaron McCann. Sitting at shortstop is Mark Mumper. In the outfield from left to right, Braden Daniel, Dominic Foscalina, and Eli Rollinson. That's your defense for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. They just recorded the first out of this ball game in the top of the first inning. That brings up Spencer Henson into the right-handed batting box. He high in the air, but well foul and out of play to the right side. So Spencer will be down in the count 0-1 to begin his first at-bat of the game. So Spencer absolutely on a tear so far this season, batting .339, which is good for 3rd in the ABL with a .383 on base percentage. He also leads the league in runs with 24. Runs batted in, that is. And has had 4 RBIs in his past 4 games. So 0-1 count, 1 down, top of the first inning between the Miners and Glacier Pilots. Spencer Henson steps back up to the dish after he fouled that first pitch from Chapman off. Chapman's 0-1. This one a tapper over to short. Mumper comes up on it and makes the throw over for out number 2. So the first 2 batters of the Miners tonight have been retired thanks to Dalton Chapman. And that's going to bring up Caleb Van Blake, left-handed hitting second baseman out of UC Davis. Van Blake, quite a nice season as well, batting .340, and has gotten on in half of his plate appearances this season. So has yet to qualify for a spot on the official batting average list in the ABL, but that'll come sooner rather than later, and will definitely enter the postseason in top 10 in batting average. Chapman's first pitch to Van Blake is hit right back to him, so he'll make a light jog, underhand toss to first for out number 3. The Miners go down in order to begin this ball game. The Pilots will come up to bat for the first time tonight when we return on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Matsu Miner Radio.
Welcome back into the bottom of this opening inning between the Matsu Miners and Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Josh Haley stands on the mound for the Matsu Miners, and the 9-hole face from the Glacier Pilots will go as follows. Leading things off, the third baseman from Fresno State, Jordan Arruda, followed by the second baseman out of Mount San Antonio College, Ryan Knowles. Mark Mumper bats in the 3 spot from Grand Canyon University. In the 4-hole is the University of Kentucky commit Braden Daniel, followed by Aaron McCann out of Chaffee College. Eli Rollinson bats 6th from Bradley University. Zach Fresno from Fresno State batting 7th in the 8-hole from Columbia State Community College, Elliot Curtis. And in that 9 spot is the center fielder out of Utah, Dominic Fascalina. Mentioned Josh Haley on the mound for the Miners. Left-handed thrower is 2-1 this season with a 6th best CRA in the ABL. It sits at 1.98 in 36 1/3 innings pitched. So Josh Haley's first pitch nails the outside corner for strike 1 against Jordan Arruda. Arruda having quite the nice season for the Glacier Pilots as he looks at a ball 1-1. Haley also with 28 strikeouts has only walked 8 so far in his first few starts. And Arruda hits one over to short. Drew Swift charges in, swallows it up, and his throw to first is dropped by Spencer Henson. So nice play from Drew Swift, but unfortunately, Spencer Henson had trouble hauling it in, so that'll go down as knee 3. And Arruda, the leadoff man for the Pilots, is on. Defense for the Miners. Aaron Walters is the battery mate to Josh Haley. Over at third base, Tyler Brosetti. Drew Swift playing short. Second baseman is Caleb Van Blake. Over at first is Spencer Henson. Kona Quiggle playing left field. Braden Merritt in center. And Austin Pinarini in right. So Josh Haley will now face Ryan Knowles, another left-handed batting for the Glacier Pilots, as he looks at a strike 0-1. So Haley working from the stretch. Checks first, but diving back in time is Arruda. He has to be careful. Arruda with 16 stolen bases this season, which is good for first in the ABL. Haley's 0-1. Nice bender that drops in the zone. So he's ahead in the count to Ryan Knowles, 0-2. The Miners now a second best ERA in the ABL. It sits at 2.7 as Knowles hits it foul just behind us in the press box. So the count will stay at 0-2. Also, the Miners just dropped to second in batting average allowed. They now sit at 207 behind the Anchorage Bucks. And are second in strikeouts as well with 258. So Josh Haley looking to add to that total. But Ryan Knowles will live to see another day as he fouls yet another ball off.
The Miners pitching kind of has slowed down a little bit. Of course, 7 runs given up in yesterday's game, so looking here to pick that up and keep it under at least 4.
Haley from his torso, his 0-2 pitch. This one lined in between first and second. That'll get all the way to Austin Pinerini and right. So he scoops it up and throws in. And the Anchorage Glacier Pilots have their first 2 runners aboard here in the bottom of the first inning. Yet to see any score come across as the Miners went down in order to begin the game. Josh Haley, this is his 3rd time seeing the Glacier Pilots. In 10 1/3 innings pitched, has allowed 4 runs, 3 of which were earned. Only 8 hits, and he's struck out 9. So Mark Mumper, out of Grand Canyon University, bats from the right side. There is runners on first and second. He's looking to bunt, dribbles it down the third base line. Haley's only play to first, and that throw sails Spencer Henson at first, goes all the way to the right field wall. Coming in to score easily, Drew Neruda. On his horse and entering home is Ryan Knowles. So a costly error by Josh Haley as Mark Mumper's tagged out trying to get third. A costly error from Josh Haley brings across 2 Glacier Pilots runs. They now lead the Miners 2-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Real unfortunate there, Connor, from Josh Haley to give up runs in that fashion.
Yeah, very unfortunate, and it's unusual for a pitcher. Well, it's a different position for them when they're fielding rather than when they're throwing off the mound.
And yeah, it's always hard to field that position, especially when it's such a bang-bang play. Mumper, with that speed, unfortunately, did get caught at third for the first out of this bottom of the first inning. So Braden Daniel will step in. He's looked at 2 straight balls. This 2-0 pitch and misses inside with the fastball. So Josh Haley has fallen behind 3-0. Daniel has walked 16 times on the season. He stands in from the right side. This is a strike that hits every part of the plate from Josh Haley. The count moves to 3 balls and 1 strike. We have 1 out, bottom of the first inning. The Pilots just taking the lead 2-0. Haley's 3-1. That misses well low and inside. So Braden Daniel is aboard via the walk. First walk drawn this game by the Pilots as they rank 2nd in the ABL. They've drawn 132 this season. And that brings up Aaron McCann. He bats from the left side of the dish out of Chaffee College. So Josh Haley yet again working out of the stretch. McCann lifts this one into center. Moving in is Braden Merritt. He'll make the grab for out number 2. So 2 outs thanks to that F8 by Aaron McCann. As we sit in the bottom of the first inning, the Pilots leading the Miners 2-0. That's going to bring up Eli Rollinson. He bats from the right side of the dish. Rollinson struggling this season, only 9 hits so far in 56 at-bats. And really struggling of recent, 1 hit in his past 21 at-bats. So Josh Haley attacking him right away with the fastball in the lower portion of the plate. 0-1. So the Miners do lead this season series 7-3 as there's a man in motion, but this one is hit on the ground to third. Tyler Bozetti makes the play for out number 3. But not before Anchorage Glacier Pilots get 2 runs on 1 hit in the bottom of the first inning. They lead the Matsu Miners 2-0 as we will have the second inning when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across.
This is David Avitia from Grand Canyon University. I'm a catcher, and this is Matsu Miners Baseball.
The Miners surrender 2 runs in the bottom of the first inning. They trail 2-0 as they step back up to the dish. 4, 5, 6 hitters due up for Matsu as they went down in order to begin the ball game. Pinerini, Brooks, and Walters is the 3 due up. So Chapman on for second inning of work, as Chapman has lost his past 4 starts. So looking to get back to his winning ways, but you can't accredit all of them his fault necessarily, allowing 2 runs in 3 of them and only 1 in that other start. So he works from the line to begin this second inning. First pitch to Austin Pinerini's a strike. 0-1. Pino batting .276 this season with a .361 on-base percentage. Tied for third in the ABL with 21 runs batted in. Chapman misses in the turf, so this count will move to 1-1. Pinerini is seeing the ball well against the Pilots this season, 10 for 28 with 4 RBIs. Chapman kicks and deals. This 1-1 is tapped yet again right back to him. So just like we ended the first inning, we begin the second inning very similarly with Dalton Chapman tossing for out number 1. So back-to-back 1-3 putouts for the Miners as it brings up the designated hitter Nick Brooks, a home run derby participant when we were last in Mulcahy here on Sunday. Brooks, in 4 games played, has 3 hits and 12 at-bats. All 3 of those hits coming in the past 3 games. Chapman's first pitch to Brooks, looked at for a strike on the outside part of the plate, 0-1. Nate DeSantis calling the balls and strikes this evening. Brad Polk at first base, and Scott Johnston is at third. That's your officiating crew tonight. Pilots lead the Miners 2-0, top of the second inning. 0-1 pitch. This misses low to Nick Brooks, 1-1. So the Miners coming out with those camo jerseys tonight with green lettering and a yellow trim on that, and then yellow numbering with the white pants and green socks. As a 1-1 pitch, that misses low in the middle portion of the plate, 2-1. Glacier Pilots with the home whites tonight. All white pants and jerseys with the blue lettering and red numbering. Red numbering on the front, blue numbering on the back. Chapman misses with the fastball low and away. Nick Brooks has worked into a hitter's count, 3-1. So 1 down, top of the second inning. Nick Brooks looking to get the Miners' first hit, or first base runner for that matter tonight. Chapman's 3-1 pitch. That misses low. Fresno had to go to his knees to block that one. And the Miners do have their first base runner aboard here in the top of the second inning. That brings up Aaron Walters, who is doing the catching duties tonight from the left side. And Walters is batting .275 this season with a .306 on base percentage, but has been a bit cold from the plate. No hits in his past 3 games, going 0 for 9 in that span, but only striking out once. So he's putting the ball in play, just not in the right spots. As this first pitch into Walters is fouled straight back. And it was impressive in batting practice, Connor. Walters hit one over the fence after breaking his bat in batting practice. So not even a full speed pitch. He hit one over the fence, breaking a bat. One of the neat things to see today. Chapman from the stretch hits that outside corner, 0-2 to the left-handed hitting Aaron Walters.
And it was fun to see. A lot of people were cheering him on. They encouraged him to break his bat after, because what's good a broken bat?
Not a lot. Chapman's ahead in the count, 0-2 with 1 out. Miners have a runner on first. Chapman kicks and fires. This pitch misses low. Zach Presno had to go to the ground to block that one. So 1 ball and 2 strikes in the top of the second inning. The Miners trying to get back those 2 runs they gave up in the bottom half of the first inning. As Aaron Walters stands in from Texas A&M. Chapman from his chest. Walters pops that one into shallow right field. Eli Rollinson will have to play that off the hop. And now the Miners with 2 runners on here in the top of the second inning as they trail 2-0 currently to the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. Nice hit there from Aaron Walters. Didn't try to do too much with it. And that's his first hit now in 4 games.
Well, for Walters, just has to put the ball in play like he's been doing, and sometimes it finds a hole. That time it did.
And, Walters was on a tear before these past 3 games, and maybe that little hit there will really bring the confidence back. as Tyler Bozetti steps up to the dish from the right side, and he looks at a strike on the outside part of the plate. 0-1. So now the Miners, the runners on first and second. They are down by 2 in the top of the second inning. Tyler Bozetti, he is riding a 8-game hitting streak right now. So a hot man at the plate. This 0-1. Misses well outside and low. 1-1. Bozetti on the season batting .238, .339 on base percentage. Also has driven in 11 RBIs. 4 of them coming at the hands of the Glacier Pilots. So he's looking to add to that total right now. Chapman misses high and away. The count goes to 2-1. So he'll need to be careful pitching to Tyler Bozetti, who had a home run last night, 2-run shot over the left field wall at Lee Jordan Field in Chugiak. So Chapman, after taking a peek at second, motions to the plate. Bozetti, a dribbler to third. Arruda steps on third, and then it's tossed around the diamonds in time. Double play for the Glacier Pilots. A 5-3 double play ends the top of the second inning as the Miners will leave a couple runners stranded. They still trail the Pilots 2-0 as we head into the home half of the second inning on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Mat-Su Minor Radio.
Glacier Pilots 2, Miners nothing as we enter the bottom of the second inning. Josh Haley still on the mound. He'll face the final 3 batters in the Anchorage Glacier Pilots lineup. Zach Presno, Elliot Curtis, and Dominic Foscolina. They look to extend or hold on to this 2-0 lead. Haley in that first inning didn't necessarily get thrown around, just had some mishaps. As Spencer Henson had an error to begin that bottom of the first inning, and then Josh Haley didn't help his cause with his overthrow that allowed 2 runs to score, as those were the only 2 runs to score in that first inning. So Presno stepping to the dish from the right side out of Fresno State. He looks at a strike on the upper outside corner. 0-1. Fresno this season batting .213, only 10 hits on the campaign. He swings through that Josh Haley pitch, so he's now down on the count 0-2. Last night, Presno had a nice night at the dish, going 1 for 3 and also drove in a run. Haley misses well inside with a fastball. Presno had to jump out of the way of it. Count sits at 1 ball, 2 strikes to the opening batter in the bottom of the second inning. 1-2 is line foul, so we'll sit at a 1-2 count.
And this is where Josh Haley fell into some trouble last inning, was ahead 1-2, then allowed a base hit, and that was one of the runs that scored.
So 1-2 count. Josh Haley from the wind. His pitch swung on and missed by Zach Presno. Josh Haley sits down the first Pilot in the bottom of the second inning via strikeout. As Elliot Curtis, the designated hitter tonight, stands in from the left side out of Columbia State's Community College. And the Pilots, they don't hit at a high average rate, only .226, but they managed to get on base a lot. A .329 on base percentage that sits second in the ABL as Josh Haley nails the lower portion of the plate with a fastball. 0-1. His second pitch misses inside 1-1. So going back to that, the Pilots really just finding ways to get on and other ways that hits, because they're also second in runs scored in 132. As Curtis swings through that one, 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. As they trail the Miners, who sit at 158 And Elliott
Ooh.
Curtis, that bat went farther than the ball as he strikes out for the second out in the bottom of the second inning. Got to hope the fans were paying attention on that one. And what a way to go down swinging.
If you're going to go down swinging, you might as well go down in fashion. I think the bat wasn't high enough to reach anybody in the stands. It might have went into the Pilots' dugouts, but I guess it's okay to hit a player instead of a fan, right?
So Dominic Foscolina will step up after that mishap. Josh Haley misses outside with a fastball 1-0. Foscolina has been a hot bat in this Pilots lineup of late on a 4-game hit streak, has 8 hits in his past 11 at-bats. He swings through that. Haley's pitch. 1-1. 2 down, bottom of the second inning. Pilots lead the Miners 2-0. Josh Haley's 1-1. Fouled off to the right side, so he's trying to strike out all 3 batters in this Pilots time up in the bottom of the second inning. So the Miners are overall second in strikeouts with 258. Haley's 1-2. Misses high and inside to Foscolina. Had to hop out of the way of it. Foscolina wearing that red arm sleeve on the right side. Haley's 2-2. Foscolina barely gets the edge of the lumber on it. He hits it over to the right side and foul. So we'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Haley's 2-2 offering. This one chopped over to third. Bozetti plays it. His throw to first in time for out number 3. So Josh Haley sets down the Pilots in order, strikes out the first 2 batters, actually, that were due up, and we'll head into the 3rd inning on Matsu Miners Radio. Miners trail the Pilots 2-0. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad, an Operation Lifesaver, would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect a train. Look, listen, live.
And the Ad Council.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
So a little bit of a shocking development right now. Well, not really development, a happening, I should say. The Pilots bringing in already relief pitcher and right-hander Joe Fitka. So Chapman's day is over. Connor, only 2 innings. You got to wonder if maybe an injury arose or the Pilots didn't like what they were seeing out of Chapman today.
Well, I don't know how you wouldn't like what you were seeing. I mean, Chapman only goes 2 innings. He allowed a hit, had a strikeout, was not, I won't say mowing down the Miners, but he was being effective through the first 6 batters.
Yeah, you mentioned only that 1 hit given up to Aaron Walters. So nevertheless, Fitka will be on the bump for the Pilots to begin this 3rd inning. Fitka comes into tonight with 5 appearances, all of them starts. He has an 0-2 record and a 4.50 ERA. In 22 innings pitched with 17 strikeouts and 5 walks. So unfortunately, we can't see the Pilots dugout on the right side to see whether Chapman is in there cheering on his teammates or if he got taken to the clubhouse to get looked at by a trainer. So we'll have to find that reason after the game. But nevertheless, the Miners will face Fitka, and Merritt, Swift, and Quiggle are due up to begin the 3rd inning. They trail the Pilots 2-0. As this is the final regular season matchup between these 2 teams. So Merritt steps in from the left side of the dish. This is his first at-bat in 8 days. So Fitka's first pitch misses well inside, 1-0. Fitka is a hometown kid from Anchorage, Alaska, also attends Chicago State. This is his fourth time seeing the minors. So his 1-0 fouled off and out of play to the right side by Braden Merritt. So in those 3 appearances, he's 0-2 with 15 innings pitched, allowed 7 earned runs and 13 hits, and has struck out 9. So he sits at a 1-1 count to the leadoff man, Merritt. Merritt, soft liner into right field. Rollinson will not make the grab. Merritt speeding around first, trying to get into second. He dives in. Unfortunately, was not in time. Merritt tagged out after trying to stretch, not really a single, but a reach on error and from first to second. So the error luckily works out for the Pilots as we see the first out in sort of a strange way. And E9 turned into a 9-6 putout. So Fitka's first pitch into Drew Swift, that misses low, actually gets in between the legs of Zach Presno. So Swift, the all-star shortstop for the Miners, bats from the right side. Playing in every game this season, their ability for Drew Swift has been uncanny. And we were talking to Ian Churchill yesterday, said Swift is just a vacuum over there at short. If you were a pitcher, you'd like to have every ground ball hit over to Swift.
Well, Swift's just been phenomenal defensively this year. Makes the tough plays, makes the easy plays, and he's been really fun to watch.
So Drew Swift's but unfortunately struggling at the plate this season, batting 193, only a 258 on base percentage. But when he gets on base, he moves around, second in stolen bases with 12. So the count currently sits at 1-0. We're in the top of the third inning, 1 out. Pilots lead the Miners 2-0. Fitka's 1-0 offering, misses well outside, 2-0. So Fitka, only with 5 walks on the season in his 5 starts. But he's down on the count right now, 2-0. This one lined right up the middle, charging hard and diving, makes the catch. Dominic Foscalina just flew in midair in center field to save a hit for his pitcher, Joe Fitka.
Just what a play from Foscalina. He had to go a little bit of a distance coming all the way in, but as you say, it's always easier to come in on a ball than to go back, and just what a play from Foscalina.
So a real soft liner from Swift. He gets robbed of a hit here in the top of the second inning. Now the Miners with 2 outs. They still trail the Pilots by 2. So Kona Quiggle steps to the dish. He struck out back in his leadoff at-bat in the first inning. This time he'll look at a ball low and inside, 1-0. So Fitka working from the wind. His 1-0 pitch. This one hit the turf well in front of home plate. So now behind 2-0. This Pilots pitching staff 4th in ERA with a 3.79 ERA. So giving up a lot of runs. Currently have yet to give one up, but we're only sitting in the top of the third inning. A very run-happy offense of the Miners. Kona Quiggle blasts one high in the air into left center field, but Braden Daniel will make the catch moving back for out number 3. So the Miners go in order here in the top of the third inning. That's the second time they've done so tonight. They trail the Anchorage Glacier Pilots 2-0. We'll have the home half of the third inning when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio.
A pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Matsu Miner Radio.
So after the Miners are set down in order to begin the third inning, the Pilots step back up to the plate with a 2-0 lead here at Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage. Mentioned the Miners lead this regular season series 7-3, so they'll win the series as this is the final matchup between both teams tonight. But the Pilots playing for pride as they currently sit 5.5 games back between the ABL leading Miners. And Jordan Ruda will lead things off yet again for the Pilots as he reached on an error in his first at-bat, but hits a towering shot over near the third base bag and a few steps behind it, making the catches Tyler Bozetti for out number 1. So Ruda goes down on the first pitch as Ryan Knowles will step up to the dish. He had a single back in the first inning, but ended up coming around to score the second run due to a Josh Haley error. So we've only seen a combined 2 hits so far in this ball game. Obviously only 2 runs as the Pilots hold the lead 2-0. Josh Haley misses inside to Ryan Knowles, batting from the left side. So Knowles now a 10-game hit streak. So he swings through that off-speed pitch from Josh Haley, 1-1. Knowles in the 9 games prior to tonight, batting .394 with 5 RBIs. As that is all his RBI total is on the season. As he bounces one foul to the right side, he's down in the count, 1-2. So Josh Haley really settling into a groove right now after what was a long first inning, seeing 6 of the 9 Pilots batters. His 1-2 line foul and out of play to the left side.
And, the first inning, it started off with that error. Might have rattled Haley a little bit, but as you said, he's settling in. He's getting into a groove and has really done a nice job since.
So Haley's 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed by Ryan Knowles for out number 2. So Josh Haley, 3 strikeouts tonight and has retired 5 batters in a row. That brings up Mark Mumper, who when he came up, his hit to the pitcher did bring in 2 runs. Fortunately, none of them were 4 RBIs as it was off the throwing error. So a short tapper to third. Tyler Bozetti hauls it in and makes the throw over in time for out number 3. So 6 batters in a row. Josh Haley has retired to end the 3rd inning. We'll move into the middle 3 innings where my co-partner Connor Mills will be on the call. The Miners trail the Pilots 2-0. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Hey, I'm Tyler Bassetti. I'm from Nevada, Reno, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Baseball.
It's the top of the 4th inning. Connor Mills, Brad Walker with you as the Anchorage Glacier Pilots have a 2-0 lead over the Matsu Miners. Joe Fitka on the mound. Spencer Henson will lead things off here on the top of the 4th. They'll go Henson, Van Blake, followed by Austin Pinarini. Those are the Miners due up. Spencer's first time up, grounded into a 6-3 put out, a ground out to short, as he will look to fare better against Joe Fitka. Fitka coming in relief of Dalton Chapman. And for reasons unbeknownst to us here in the press box, we have no idea why Chapman came out of this game.
Yeah, we really don't. Just wasn't pitching bad at all, so I would have to speculate it'd be an injury.
This one's hit a long shot down into left. If it's fair, it's gone, but it goes foul. A hot shot off the bat of Spencer Henson. And just a couple days ago in the home run derby, we saw him punch out 5 out of Mulcahy. 1 went there, but foul. As the count goes to no balls and 1 strike with nobody out here in the top of the 4th. Fitka's pitch is on the way, taken in the turf for ball 1. 1-1 the count. Miners trailing the Anchorage Glacier Pilots 2-0.
Yeah, the left side, that left field area is definitely the power alley here at Mulcahy. If the wind blows out, it tends to go out that way.
The 1-1 taken all the way. Little low. Did he go? The check down to Brad Polk at first says he did not. So the count goes 2 balls and 1 strike, nobody out here on the top of the 4th inning. Fitka from the windup swung on and fouled straight back and hits the wood up here at the press box. 2-2 the count to Spencer Henson. Henson scored 18 runs this season, 24 RBIs, 5 walks, and 17 strikeouts. This one, a little tapper over towards third along the line. Manager Ben Taylor just goes under his bare hand and into the glove of Jordan Arruda. So 2-2 the count remains to Spencer Henson. Henson 8 doubles, 1 triple, and 5 home runs as Fitka's ready from the windup, taken high for ball 3. Number 45, the bat boy, is out there to give some balls to the home plate umpire, Nate DeSantis. 3-2 the count goes. Infield playing back, outfield's straight away. The pitch from Fitka, taken outside for ball 4. Henson takes a close pitch. It goes in his favor. Ball 4. And the leadoff man is on base for the Miners here in the top of the 4th.
Spencer Henson, an aggressive hitter, normally swings at the first pitch. So when he doesn't, it's typically going to be a ball. Really great play discipline.
For Henson, only his 6th walk on the season is now Caleb Van Blake. Stands in. Van Blake had a chopper right back to the pitcher the first time up as he takes a ball inside for ball 1. For Van Blake, for some reason, the ball keeps on hitting him. 9 hit by pitches, including 1 yesterday. As he's at the top of the Miners in that category. The 1-0 is swung on and fouled off towards the right side and out of play. 1-1 the count with a runner on first base here on the top of the 4th inning. Pilots leading the Miners 2-0. Van Blake is now at the top, also in batting average for the Mat-Su Miners. There's a 1-1 from Fitka, a bunt that goes high straight back to us here in the press box. 1-2. Van Blake smiling a little bit as he tried to lay it down, but it went high and straight back, foul. So 1-2 the count goes with nobody out.
And I like that from Van Blake. Only 1 hit tonight for the Miners, so anything to get him going, maybe to sneak a bunt. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite work out.
The 1-2 taken inside, and that one almost nipped his jersey. 2-2 the count. And we had a hit from Aaron Walters plus Braden Merritt, so 2 hits on the day for the Miners. Scoreboard behind by 1. 2-2 the count. The pitch swung on. This one's lifted out into left field. Moving in is the left fielder Braden Daniel. Makes one-hand grab for the first out here on the top of the 4th. Van Blake retired on a pop out to left.
Van Blake must have really liked that pitch, just didn't get really where he wanted it to, because after he hit it, really frustrated slamming the bat down, so it must have been in his wheelhouse. Didn't capitalize on the opportunity.
So Van Blake is out. Pinarini is in. Austin Pinarini, 27 hits and 98 at-bats, batting .276 coming into the day. He also grounded out to the pitcher his first time up as he takes a ball from Joe Fitka. 1-0 the count. Runner on first here on the top of the 4th with the Pilots leading the Miners 2-0. From the stretch, Fitka's pitch taken high for ball 2. A little uncharacteristic here in Anchorage, Alaska. Sunny skies and warm temperature. As it's normally around the 50s or 60s, this is around the 70s. Warm for Alaskan Baseball League action as a 2-0 swung on. Line drive out into right field, but slicing foul. That one does stay in play and is over near the Pilots' dugout as the ball slowly rolls into fair territory now. 2-1 the count, 1 out. Fitka stares in at Fresno with a pitch. Taken for ball. Check that. Strike 2. little delay in the reaction from home plate umpire Nate DeSantis, but nonetheless, the count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 away. Austin Pinarini. The pitch in, taken low for ball 3. Count is run full against Austin Pinerini here on the top of the 4th inning, as Miners look to get some runs across. The 3-2 swung on and fouled straight back over towards the right and Adam Mulcahy Stadium.
Pinerini definitely got the barrel of the bat on that one, just dipped the shoulder a little too much as it went right behind us. So he was on it, got the barrel on it, but unfortunately the swing plane wasn't quite there.
Count still remains full. Fitke's payoff pitch is on the way, swung on, and this one is popped straight up. It might hit us in the box, but instead it will go right over and hit over near the concession stand. Pinerini staying alive. 3-2 the count. Fitke's pitching from the stretch. He deals. The payoff pitch is checked his swing, and the home plate umpire, Nate DeSantis, will ring him up. A strikeout on a half-hearted swing. And Nick Brooks will look to get the job done here in the top of the 4th inning with now 2 away.
DeSantis tonight really leaning towards saying guys went around. Almost a similar situation from Koenig-Quiggle. Didn't seem like he went all the way around, but if you're consistent with it, you can't complain at all.
Nick Brooks now stands in at the plate as Joe Fitke records his first strikeout on Pinerini. Pitch in to Brooks is taken, and Spencer Henson was a little off the bag, but he goes back headfirst sliding. Fitke now has the ball, and that was a long slide for Spencer Henson to get back on the base, and he was able to do so.
Yeah, real nice slide by Spencer, too. Really went for the outside part of the bag. Didn't have any part of his body on the inside or middle part. It was real tough to apply the tag from Aaron McCann.
Pitch into Nick Brooks. This one's a long drive deep out into left field. A courtesy run from Braden Daniel, and this one is out of here. Nick Brooks. This one counts as your first home run on the season. Brooks ties this game up at 2. It's the Miners 2 and the Pilots 2. Welcome back to Matsu, Nick Brooks.
Baba Booey! Nick Brooks with a bomb right there. We saw it in the home run derby. We saw it in the Scout Showcase. We finally see it now in a game in a crucial moment for the Miners to really get them boosted.
A nice job from Nick Brooks and Spencer Henson. A 2-run homer here in the top of the 4th inning. This game is tied at 2, and Aaron Walters now stands in. First pitch into Walters, swung on. This one's a deep drive out into left center field. Moving back is the left fielder Braden Daniels, stepping back, backpedaling, and makes the catch. So Aaron Walters almost goes yard opposite field, but it's caught at the warning track, but not before Nick Brooks gets this game tied on a 2-run homer. It's the Miners 2, the Anchorage Glacier Pilots 2, and you're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
Hi guys, Drew Swift, infielder from Arizona State University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
It's the bottom of the 4th inning, and it's a new ball game. Miners 2, Pilots 2, thanks to Nick Brooks. Brooks with a 2-run homer. He scored Spencer Henson, and now Braden Daniel will stand in against Josh Haley. Haley has shut down the Pilots ever since surrendering 2 unearned runs in the bottom of the 1st inning. A 1-2-3 inning in the 2nd and 3rd as we are here in the bottom of the 4th. Josh Haley pitching from the windup, and he deals. Taken on the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Daniel today reached base on a walk, the only walk allowed by Haley so far. Josh Haley, a 1.98 ERA, as this one is chopped foul of the bag at third base. Bassetti did a nice job ranging into foul territory to make sure if that one was going to go either way. 0-2 the count now to Braden Daniel. There will be Daniel, Aaron McCann, and Eli Rollinson all due up in the inning. Josh Haley, the pitch. Swung on a broken bat, a slow roller over to Drew Swift, charging, firing on the move. He hits his man in Spencer Henson at first. A nice play yet again from the shortstop out of Arizona State, Drew Swift.
Yeah, it really is. It's always tough to make a play when you're on the run, but Drew Swift makes it look easy.
It's a good play from Swift. Gets a first out here in the bottom of the fourth inning after the Miners scored 2 in the top half of the fourth. Tied ball game with 1 out. As a pitch into Aaron McCann, first pitch swinging, a chopper over to Spencer Henson, who makes a play and touches the base. 1 pitch, 2 outs. Aaron McCann down on the first base unassisted, as now Eli Rollinson will come to the dish.
Josh Haley had to love the bit of run support he just got, so he has to be feeling good. He's always a big team guy, so when the team can deliver for him, it's only going to make him even feel better.
First pitch into Eli Rollinson is taken in for a called strike, 0-1. Rollinson today grounded out to third. It is only at bat, as this is his second trip to the plate, as he swings and lifts this one deep out into left field, but that goes foul and out of play. Rollinson, 9 hits, 56 at-bats, good for a 161 batting average. Has 9 RBIs on the season, 6 walks, and has struck out 18 times. 0-2 is a count to Eli Rollinson, as now time will be called by Rollinson at the plate. The pitch from Josh Haley, 0-2, swung on. This one's poked out into left field. Moving back is Kona Quiggle. Moving back, still going, back at the warning track, and makes a play. It looked like a little pop-up out into left, but the wind was carrying that one all the way back to the fence, and good for Kona Quiggle to make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning yet again for Josh Haley as we are entering into the top of the 5th inning. Ball game tied at 2, and you're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Top of the 5th inning here at Mulcahy Stadium. Connor Mills, Brad Walker with you on the call. It's a great day for baseball, sunny skies. It's a great day for baseball as Joe Fitka returns to the mound for his 2nd or 3rd inning of work. Fitka coming in relief of Dalton Chapman, who started the game. And again, we have no idea why he came out of the game unless he was on some kind of pitch limit or inning limit, or potentially an injury. As we'll see Tyler Bassetti lead things off here in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, and this is the first game for the Pilots in 5 days. their first regular season game, I should say. So Chapman hasn't been worked a whole lot of late. So just a mystery that we'll have to try to figure out.
First pitch from Fitka into Bassetti is taken inside and low for a ball. For the Miners, 2 runs, 3 hits, also have 2 errors, and the Pilots, 2 runs, 1 hit, and no errors. Here on the top of the 5th inning, the second pitch on the way swung on, and a little chopper over to shortstop Mark Bumper. Bassetti on the run, but he can't get there in time as the throw was good. A ground out to short for Tyler Bassetti to begin things here on the top of the 5th. 1 out now for Braden Merritt, who reached base on a seeing eye single back in the 3rd inning. Merritt had a single out into right field and then got thrown out trying to stretch it into a double as he bunts this one straight back to Fitka, the pitcher, who throws a hard liner right back to McCann at first. Braden Merritt just couldn't position that bunt for a hit where he wanted it, as there's a hard bunt right back to Fitka on the mound. 2 men down here in the top of the 5th for the Miners, and Drew Swift at the plate.
It's always tough to lay down a bunt, especially on the turf field as the ball rolls a lot more, so placement is everything.
First pitch into Drew Swift is in for a called strike, and for Swifty, popped out to center field his last time up. But as we were seeing in batting practice, he was hitting line drives and was feeling good today. Drew praise from the manager, Ben Taylor. So
yeah,
we expect to see him on base today.
Yeah, he is. He's been hitting very well in batting practice of recent, always getting his extra hacks in whenever possible. So it's just a matter of time for Drew Swift. The defensive there, we're just sort of waiting on the offense.
Line drive right up the middle. There it is, right on cue for Drew Swift. Line drive up the middle. A 2-out base hit here on the top of the 5th inning for Drew Swift. And now the top of the order coming up for the Miners.
And I would accredit that to karma right there. Drew Swift has been nothing but a staple on the defensive end. It was a matter of time it caught up to him and started to show on the offensive end, and it did right there.
Swift's batting average now at 198, inching closer to the Mendoza line as he takes a lead at first, and the pitch into Kona Quiggle is in for a called strike. 0-1 the count to Quiggle today, who is 0 for 2, a strikeout in the first, and a fly out to left field back in the 3rd. Fitka from the stretch. The 0-1 offering. A off-speed pitch that misses high. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Ball game tied at 2 between the Miners and the Pilots. Fitka has his sign from Fresno, then checks back over to Swift, who's back sliding. 1-1 the count remains. Outfield positions. Quiggle as a pull hitter as are shifted towards right. The pitch into Kona is taken in for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. And Kona kind of just turned around on that last one. He takes a long walk out of the box, trying to relax himself, and maybe he didn't think that was called or should have been called a strike.
Yeah, and whether he did or didn't, he made the smart decision there to take a deep breath, composure himself. 2 strikes has to protect.
He's down the count, 1-2. The pitch is inside. Drew Swift on the move. The ball hits him, and that's a stolen base for Swift. 13 now on the season. Drew Swift now in scoring position on second base with Kona Quiggle at the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away here in the top of the 5th inning. Joe Fitka. The pitch swung on and fouled back towards the left side and out of play. Count remains 2-2.
Yeah, and Swift, it just shows how vital it is to have that speed. Now runner in scoring position puts a little more pressure on Joe Fitka.
Fitka looks back now at the plate, taken on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Kona Quiggle not happy with that one, but it is what it is. For the Miners, 1 hit, no runs, no errors, nobody left on 1 left on base as we're entering into the bottom of the 5th inning. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio. Ball game tied up at 2.
This is Kona Quiggle, outfield infield from Grand Canyon University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Bottom of the fifth inning, Miners and Pilots tied at 2. On the mound is Josh Haley. Due up this inning for the Pilots, Zach Presno, Elliot Curtis, and Dominic Pascalina. All three were set down in order back in the second inning, as this is their second time to the plate and facing Josh Haley. Haley, 1, 2, 3 in the second, third, and fourth inning will look to continue his success here in the fifth. As first pitch swinging and fouling it off is Zach Presno.
Going back to that Kona Quiggle strikeout to end the top of the fifth inning. Real cool moment. Ben Taylor noticed Kona Quiggle's frustration and put him around his arm as they walked back to the dugout.
This one's hit a long distance down into left field. Looking back is Kona Quiggle. Tie game, no more. No, that's a foul ball. Foul ball called by third base umpire Scott Johnston. That missed by inches. Again, foul ball hit by Zach Presno. And the interesting thing about Presno, all his extra base hits are 4 home runs, and he just missed that one by inches.
Yeah, he really did. As Josh Haley, you can see wiping the sweat off of his forehead. But now he's ahead in the count 0-2.
0-2 the count. The pitch swung on. This one is a fly ball into center field. Who's going to get it? It's going to be the left fielder, Kona Quiggle, who collides into Braden Merritt. A collision in left center field. Kona Quiggle and Merritt now hugging it out and pats all around, but Quiggle, the taller of the two, makes the catch.
Yeah, as both of them, it didn't seem like had great communication on it. Nevertheless, it seemed like they both sort of slowed up at the last minute and therefore not causing too much of a collision.
So the ball game is still tied up at 2 between the Miners and the Pilots. Zach Presno just inches away of hitting a home run, but he flies out to left field as the first pitch into Elliot Curtis was for a ball. Now he grounds one over to Caleb Van Blake at second, who throws over in time for the second out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. So far, so good for Josh Haley. He has retired Presno, followed by Curtis, and now Dominic Pascalina at the plate. Pascalina grounded out to third base in his first at-bat. The first pitch on the way, swung on and fouled off right side and out of play. For Pascalina, a high batting average at .306, 15 hits and 49 at-bats, 16 RBIs, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. The 0-1 on the way, swung on and fouled off again. Josh Haley ahead on the count, no balls, 2 strikes, so 2 away here in the bottom of the fifth. Miners and Pilots tied at 2 in the final game between the Anchorage Glacier Pilots and the Matsu Miners this regular season. There is a chance that the Miners and Pilots could face each other in the postseason, a 1-4 seeding. As swing and a miss from Josh Haley. Josh Haley with his 4th strikeout on the day retires Dominic Pascalina and ends the bottom of the fifth inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We're heading to the top of the sixth inning. Ball game tied up at 2 between the Miners and the Pilots. You're listening to the Matsu Miners on the Miner Radio.
Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Spencer Henson will lead things off here on the top of the sixth inning as the Miners and Pilots are tied at 2. Henson, in search for his first hit, did reach base last time up on the first walk given up by Joe Fitka. Fitka again coming in relief of Dalton Chapman, who was a starter of the game and only went 2 innings, and a line drive out into left field for Spencer Henson. That has to feel good for him as he's on base, a leadoff single to begin things here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, definitely. Spencer had a no-hit performance last night. No, the hands have been bothering him a bit, but had to feel good right off the bat there, lining one into left field.
Last night was a little cold, and of course was raining before the game, and with the warm weather here today, I'm sure the hand is feeling just a bit better. As now Caleb Van Blake bats in from the left side. First pitch in, he swings and flies it foul territory behind home plate. The catcher Presno will watch it go into the grandstands at Mulcahy Stadium for a strike. 0-1. The count, nobody out. Top of the 6th inning, ball game tied at 2.
And for the Miners, it seems like Fitka has left some pitches over the plate. This is when you should attack to try to get a lead before you enter the later stages of the ball game.
0-1 the count. Joe Fitka pitching from the stretch. He deals a ball that just hit the green turf, did not even hit the orange turf or the brown, whatever you'd like to call it, as Spencer Henson will move over from first to second base on the wild pitch. 1-1 now the count, and that ball just bounced in the green.
Yeah, that's the second time tonight that Fitka's missed well before reaching the plate. Seems like he's struggling throwing, I would imagine, a fastball that would miss low, just holding on to it too long.
And the green is good for golf, but not here for baseball.
Not at all.
1-1 the count to Caleb Van Blake, runner in scoring possession in Spencer Henson. The pitch, this one is pop fly, slicing in foul. 3 people are over, and the ball lands in foul territory. All 3, the third baseman, the shortstop, and the left fielder could not get it in foul territory along the left field line. Aruda, Mumper, and Daniel all giving chase, but Caleb Van Blake will stay in at the plate. 1-2 is now the count.
And Spencer Henson made a real smart play right there. Instead of waiting halfway between second and third, he immediately went to second, realizing that third base was open. So if that ball was caught, he would have easily advanced.
Anything's better than getting doubled up. 1-2 the count. Joe Fitka looks back at Henson. Now at the plate, the pitch in, a check swing, foul ball off the bat of Caleb Van Blake. So Van Blake could not hold his swing on a high fastball and inside to the lefty, and the ball was fouled along the third base line. 1-2, the count remains, nobody out here in the top of the 6th inning. Joe Fitka trying to keep this game tied at 2. The pitch in, swung on and just fouled off. 1-2, the count remains.
Tell you what, that was a big swing from Caleb Van Blake. Had him spinning around in the box. Luckily, he got a piece of the wood on it.
Then with the count 1-2, you'd expect him to choke up a little bit and just try to put the ball in play, as he's only struck it out 5 times. 1-2, outside for ball 2. Van Blake does a nice job not to strike out all too much. As I said, only 5 strikeouts and 9 walks. Fitka steps off the mound, trying to recuperate after the long at-bat. 2-2, the count remains, nobody out, top of the 6th. Joe Fitka, the pitch in, taken low and inside for ball 3. Counters run full against Caleb Van Blake, as there's nobody out here in the 6th.
You got to be careful pitching to Van Blake here. He is a great hitter, but also a very patient hitter. So you have to be very precise on where you place this pitch.
Van Blake also looking for his first hit today, 0 for 2. As a 3-2 offering is high and away, ball 4. And the Miners have their first 2 batters on base here in the top of the 6th inning. Caleb Van Blake on first. Spencer Henson is on at second.
Real nice at-bat there from Caleb Van Blake. Now there's 2 on, nobody out. This is a prime position for the Miners to strike.
Second walk given up on the day by Joe Fitka. And now Austin Pinarini. 21 RBIs. He looks to tack on against Fitka and the Pilots and break this game open. First pitch taken inside for ball 1. And for Austin, batting average now at 270. As it came into today, 276. A ground out to the pitcher and a strikeout as he takes the ball outside on the outside corner for strike one. 1-1 the count, nobody out. Time for the 6th inning with runners on first and second base. Fitka still pitching from the stretch. And now he deals. Taking on the inside corner for strike two called. So a called strike on the outside portion, a called strike on the inside. Nothing right down the middle to Pinarini.
No, Fitka doing a nice job of commanding that fastball right now. Have to imagine if he's going to keep pounding that inside of the part of the plate. Pinarini has yet to swing at one of those pitches.
The 1-2. Taken low for ball two. 2-2 the count now sits. As Henson remains at second base, did not try to go to third on the bouncing ball on the turf. A good block from the catcher, Presno. Joe Fitka trying to work out of some trouble here in the top of the 6th inning. 2 runners on, nobody out. 2-2 counts Austin Pinarini. He deals, swung on, and a bouncing ball that finds the glove of Joe Fitka. Pinarini racing to first, and he will not get there in time. A 1-5-3 double play. A tremendous play from Joe Fitka just to get a glove on it.
Yeah, it really was tremendous. And then have the smarts to immediately go to third was even better. That's a huge double play from Joe Fitka.
A 1-5-3 double play. Now there are 2 outs, and Nick Brooks standing in at the plate. For Pinarini, his 5th double play grounded into on the season. As now there are 2 outs. The first pitch into Brooks is a breaking ball that misses low for ball 1. Want another count? 2 outs. And now Fitka 1 out away from ending the threat in the top of the 6th. Ball game still is tied at 2. Caleb Van Blake on second base, dancing around as a pitch into Brooks. This one bounces away from Zach Presno. He tried to get it on a bare hand on the hop, could not do so. Van Blake takes third base. Two another count to Brooks. And Nick Brooks hit his first home run of the season. In the 4th inning, a 2-run homer that tied the game up at 2.
That home run also came with 2 outs, so very similar situation right now for Nick Brooks. Got to wonder how Joe Fitka is going to attack him.
Brooks ahead in the count, 2 balls, no strikes, but 2 outs and a runner 90 feet away from scoring. That runner would be the lead run in the game. As we're still tied up at 2 between the Miners and the Pilots. Brooks, 1 for 1 and a walk. The pitch. Fastball taken for a cold strike. 2-1 the count for Brooks. A walk in the 2nd, a 2-run homer in the 4th. And now this is his 3rd trip to the plate. 2-1 the count, runner on third base. 2 outs, the pitch from Joe Fitka. Taken in for a cold strike. Count has now evened itself up. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 away here on the top of the 6th inning.
Dangerous pitch there from Fitka as it was high and definitely in the zone. Surprised Nick Brooks was taking there.
Fitka's 2-2. Swung on and found straight back and out of play. So Nick Brooks just a little ahead of that one. Got under it a little bit, but stays alive. 2-2 the count. And a runner 90 feet away from scoring. Fitka's 2-2, swung on, ground ball, racing towards the hole, diving play by Ryan Knowles, who gets up, and the throw cannot be handled by Aaron McCann. 1 run is in. Nick Brooks rounds first and goes to second base. It's a base hit for Nick Brooks, and then an error to score the run. Nick Brooks gets the job done. He's now has 3 RBIs on the day, as the Miners now lead 3-2 over the Anchorage Glacier Pilots here at Mulcahy Stadium. A great hitting situation for Nick Brooks. He hits it towards the hole on the right side, leaving his feet, and diving to stop the ball was Ryan Knowles, who tried to get up and throw Brooks out at first. The throw was offline as Caleb Van Blake came around to score. And now Aaron Walters, his first pitch swinging, he fouls it back. 0-1 the count.
And we saw a similar situation last night. The Miners scoring a couple runs thanks to an error. That's just why you put the ball in play in baseball. You have to make the play. Now the Pilots are just barely ahead of the Miners in errors as they sit 4th of 31, but still, you never know what's going to happen.
The fastball misses outside. The ball is thrown down to second base. Brooks back sliding. A nice strong throw from Zach Presno, and now he's almost thrown out the two biggest guys in the Miners lineup, Spencer Henson and Nick Brooks. 1 ball and 1 strike here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. 1 run is across as the Miners now lead the Pilots 3-2. The pitch into Aaron Walters, a swing and ground ball over to third, who then runs over and touches the base himself, and Aaron McCann. A first base unassisted for Aaron Walters, but not before Nick Brooks does the job yet again. An RBI single brings home Caleb Van Blake as the Miners lead 3-2. We're entering into the bottom of the 6th inning, and you're listening to the Mat-Su Miners on the Miner Radio. Bottom of the 6th inning, Jordan Arruda will lead things off. It'll be Arruda, Ryan Knowles, and Mark Bumper. Miners 3, the Pilots 2. An RBI single from Nick Brooks broke the tied ball game. As now Josh Haley looks to go through the Pilots order yet again. First pitch in for a called strike on Jordan Arruda. Arruda today, he reached base on an error in the first and then flew out to third base his second time up, 1-1. Now the count as the ball missed low and outside. The 1-1 ground ball diving is Tyler Bassetti, but Drew Swift with the quick hands. He throws over, but not in time. It's the first time that a Pilot has reached base since the first inning, as we are here in the bottom of the 6th. An infield single for Jordan Arruda. Tyler Bassetti did a nice job trying to knock down the ball. Drew Swift was right behind him, but the throw could not get him in time. An infield single for Arruda.
Real unfortunate way to end Haley's streak, but not surprised it was Jordan Arruda. This guy has been getting on base like a madman this whole season.
Line ground ball over to second. Caleb Van Blake, the glove flip over to Swift, who turns the 4-6-3 double play. That was just some finesse right there.
You know, nothing gets me going than a nice routine double play. Caleb Van Blake and Drew Swift, there's just something else in there in the middle infield. Van Blake with the glove flip, and then Drew Swift, the bare hand catch and throw. I mean, that's just magical. And these guys have only been playing together for a month and a half.
Well, of course, Swift makes the hard look routine, and Caleb Van Blake almost does the same as a first pitch now into Mark Bumpers on the inside corner for a called strike. Nothing is routine for Caleb Van Blake. He always goes for that fancy turns and throws, but gets the job done. Van Blake has been solid all season long at second base as the count now goes 1-1 to Mark Bumper.
And, sometimes it's not even fancy. It's just what you're comfortable with. So
this one's hit a long way down into left field, racing towards the line and one hopping the fence. Mark Mumper rounding first, heading for second. The ball is at Swift, cutting it off. A 2-out double for Mark Mumper here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And now this will officially be the first inning since the bottom of the 1st, since Haley has gone 1-2-3.
Yeah, real unfortunate for that. But Haley can't really worry about that runner on second. Just has to buckle down and look to get the final out of the inning.
A 2-out double for Mark Mumper, and now Braden Daniel grounds one over to Drew Swift, who makes the diving play. The throw over is not in line. Spencer Henson gets off the base and blocks it. It'll be an infield single again for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. 2 infield singles over on the left side. And deep in the hole, Brandon Daniel on base.
Yeah, real tough play there from Drew Swift, whether he would have decided to go to third or all the way at the diamond to first. Excellent stop by Spencer Henson, making the wise choice, coming off the bag and getting the body in front of the ball.
And now pitching coach Jeff Erlab will have a visit out to the mound. Runners at the corners here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Miners lead by 1. For the Miners, 3 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors. For the Pilots, 2 runs on 4 hits and an error of their own. Home plate umpire Nate DeSantis will walk out to break up the mound meeting as Josh Haley is 1 out away of escaping some trouble and maybe leaving with the lead. As now the mound meeting will be broken up. People still are on the mound as the infielders collaborate. Everything is set. And now Aaron McCann is set to bat. McCann from the left side. He's 0 for 2 on the day, and batting average has dipped below 200 at 194. First pitch in from Josh Haley is taken on the inside corner for a called strike. Runners at first and third against the Matsu Miners here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Josh Haley looking to escape it with the lead. On the move is Braden Daniel. He will go without a throw. 0-2 now the count into Aaron McCann. And not to say that Brandon Daniel doesn't matter, but the batter that Haley needs to get out is right here as the fastball almost gets away from Aaron Walters. 1-2 now with 2 away. Runners are at second and third. The pitch swung on. Line drive down the line. Slicing just foul. Another one goes Josh Haley's way. Aaron McCann gets ahead of that one. Pulls it foul. Couple inches away. That would have been a double and maybe more. For certain, the 2 base runners on second and third would have scored, but they do not. 1-2, the count remains. Josh Haley shakes off Aaron Walters. The 1-2. Swung on a miss, strike 3. Josh Haley does it. A show of emotion out on the mound as he escapes the bottom of the 6th inning. For the Anchorage Glacier Pilots, 3 hits, no runs, 2 left on base. A nice 4-6-3 double play to help him escape this inning. It's the Miners 3, the Pilots 2, and we'll throw it back over to Brad Walker for the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning.
Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
Hey y'all, I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
It's Josh Hatcher here, infield outfield from Mississippi State University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Miners lead the Pilots 3-2 as we move into the final 3 innings here in Anchorage, Alaska. It's Brad Walker alongside me is Connor Mills. Tyler Brosetti, Braden Merritt, and Drew Swift do up for the Miners, but they'll see a new face on the mound and right-handed thrower Raleigh Pigg out of Anchorage, Alaska, and Lewis in Clark College. So this is his first appearance in the ABL this season. You don't have to do it in a tough spot. A 1-run ball game. Miners barely leading the Pilots 3-2 in this final regular season matchup between both squads. As we enter ever so closely to that playoff picture, as the Miners, this is the first game of their last 10. And Tyler Brosetti gets things going, lines one up the middle, but trying to make a jump throw is Ryan Knowles. It is not in time, however, so Tyler Brosetti is on to begin the 7th inning with an infield single, and the Miners have their leadoff man on.
Well, what a way to start for Raleigh Pigg, making his first appearance, and he's got to go against one of the best hitting teams in the ABL in the Matsu Miners.
And now the Miners with 3 leadoff hits so far this game, as Pigg comes set from his waist, the sidearm thrower, Braden Merritt with the drag bunt along the first base line. Pigg makes the play just in time, about a half a step, beating Braden Merritt for out number 1. That does advance Tyler Brosetti over to third. So it'll go down as a sac bunt for the first out of this 7th inning. And that's going to bring up Drew Swift from the right side of the dish. Runner in scoring position, Miners lead 3-2 in the top of the 7th inning. So Swifty standing in with 1 out, has a hit. She came back in the 5th inning. So Pigg from the stretch takes a peek at second, now motions the plate, misses over the head of Drew Swift. He had to squat down out of the way of that one. So a breaking pitch that didn't quite break enough inside. Count moves to 1-0. So this 1-0 pitch is on the way. Misses high. The count goes to 2-0 with 1 out.
And for the Pilots, this is their second to last game here at Mulcahy Stadium. They have the Bucks a couple times, but this is nearing the last time that they will be labeled as the home team.
So Pigg's 2-0 pitch lifted high in the air into the right side of the infield, camped under it. Can of corn for out number 2 by the first baseman, Aaron McCann. So we have 2 outs after Tyler Brosetti had a leadoff single to begin the 7th inning. That brings up Kona Quiggle, the left-handed hitting left fielder. And actually, the Pilots, they've only won 1 out of their past 3 home games, so looking to end that mark, as this is their first regular season game in 5 days. So Pigg trying to get through with a scoreless inning of relief. His first pitch into Kona Quiggle. Misses outside for ball 1, 1-0. Kona tonight 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts and a flyout back in the 3rd inning. So Kona not seeing the ball too well tonight, but a great opportunity to drive in a run right now. Pigg from the stretch. His 1-0 offering. That misses well outside, 2-0. So Brosetti standing on second. We mentioned reached on an infield single to begin the inning and then moved over to third off a Braden Merritt sac bunt. So Pigg's 2-0 pitch. This barely nips the outside upper corner for strike 1. So 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 down, top of the 7th inning. Miners lead the Pilots 3-2 in this final regular season matchup between the squads. Kona Quiggle swings through that one. The count is now tied up at 2 with 2 outs in the 7th inning. Kona now has struck out in his past 6 games, and only 4, or rather 9 of 33 against the Glacier Pilots, which is a pretty good clip. Pigs 2-2. Misses outside. Bozzetti's on the move. The throw down to third is off the mark. So Tyler Bozzetti slides in safely. And now a 4th run for the Miners is only 90 feet away. Tyler Bozzetti's 4th stolen base of the season. That was a risky one.
Well, risky indeed. You never want to make the 3rd out to end any inning at third base. And Bozzetti with a nice slide gets under the tag of Jordan Arruda.
Full count, the payoff pitch. Misses high. Koenig-Quiggle lifted the arms to get out of the way of that one. So he'll be aboard thanks to a walk by Raleigh Pig. And now the runners are on the corners for the Miners and Spencer Henson, who got a hit in his last at-bat in the 6th inning as he's looking to increase his ABL lead of 24 RBIs currently, but will have to do so with 2 outs. So Bozzetti on third, Quiggle on first. Miners leading 3-2. The check over to Quiggle. He hops back in time, so no play there. And the Miners have actually lost the past 2 of 3 road games. They want to end that skid as well. Pig's first pitch to Henson. He'll look at it for a strike on the inside part of the plate. So Spencer Henson batting from the right side of the dish. As the Miners ahead of the ABL currently with a 3-game lead over the Peninsula Oilers. They sit 21-13. Pig will step onto the rubber and then look in. Miners also trying to become above 500 on the road. As this pitch misses in the turf. Koenig-Quiggle thought about running down, but then put on the brakes and scampered back to first. So the count moves to 1-1. Mentioned the Miners 9-9 on the road, but they've been dominating at home, where they're 12-4. So the 1-1 to Henson misses high with a fastball. Raleigh Pig did so. So the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. Runner on the corners for Spencer Henson as he tries to extend this lead. Yet again, misses with a fastball. It's Raleigh Pig. So the right-handed hitting Spencer Henson has worked a hitter's count here with 2 down in the 7th inning. What a time to make your first appearance in the ABL as Pig. He's trying to get out of it unscathed. But he'll load the bases with a outside fastball to Spencer Henson. So the Ducks are on the pond for Caleb Van Blake with 2 outs in the top of the 7th inning. So the left-handed hitting Van Blake steps to the dish, does not have a hit tonight, but reach on a walk back in the 6th inning. That would bring in a run. And we've seen before in a tight ball game, the Pilots walk in runs. We've seen it actually on multiple occasions, once in this stadium and then once at Herman Brothers. So we'll see where Pig fares in this contest to Van Blake. He comes set from his waist, checks second, now motions to the plate. Van Blake swinging, but will foul it out of play to the left side. We'll go down on the count 0-1. Van Blake has driven in 10 RBIs. Only 1 RBI driven in when facing the Pilots, but looks to make that 2, maybe more, with all runners on base. The 0-1 pitch into Caleb Van Blake. This one a soft liner over to second. Mumper coming up on it to toss the second in time. So Raleigh Pig, after getting the bases loaded, gets out of a jam without any runs given up. And the Miners will still lead the Pilots 3-2 as the Pilots step to the dish in the bottom of the 7th inning. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
I'm Josh Haley, left-handed pitcher from the University of Arizona, and you're listening to Matsu Miner Radio.
You got number 20, Raleigh Pig.
Miners 3, Pilots 2 as we enter the bottom of the 7th inning. Josh Haley is now just the 4th Miner pitcher to go longer than 5 innings against the Pilots. So we've seen the Pilots 11 times and only 4 minor starter pitchers have gone into the latter stages of the ball game, but Haley pitching quite well other than that first inning where he only gave up 2 runs. It's pretty much been untouched since then. The 6th inning, the Pilots got a couple on, but Josh Haley worked his way out of it. So Rollinson, Presno, and Curtis all due up for the Glacier Pilots. Eli Rollinson steps to the dish. He is 0 for 2 tonight, as Josh Haley delivers a fastball on the inside part of the plate to the right-handed hitting Eli Rollinson. And with that 0 for 2 tonight, is now only 4 of 29 against the Pilots. So Haley misses with that pitch. The count goes to 1-1. From the wind, this one skied into the right side part of the field, nearing that right field foul line, and sliding and making the catch is Caleb Van Blake. That was quite the play in the second. Nice defensive play there by Caleb Van Blake. Excellent hustle as well, as 3 minors were en route. Spencer Henson lost sight of it, and it would have been a tough play out and right by Pinarini, but Van Blake, moving all the way over from second, makes the nice catch for out number 1.
You can't knock Caleb Van Blake's hustle. Did a tremendous job ranging into foul territory and sliding to make the catch.
That brings up Zach Presno, also 0 for 2 tonight, here with 1 down in the bottom of the 7th inning. Haley's first pitch is an off speed that had Presno swinging through. So Presno only 1 hit now in his past 14 at-bats. So trying to find his groove at the dish as the Pilots trail the Miners 3-2. Haley's 0-1. He's going to stick with that breaking pitch, and it works. Zach Presno has swung through yet again, and it's fallen behind to Josh Haley, 0-2. Haley trying to get his 6th strikeout of the night. So from the wind, Haley's 0-2. Just misses inside with the fastball. Aaron Walters took the step out, ready to whip it around the horn, but Nate DeSantis thought otherwise. So Haley's 1-2, swung on and missed by Zach Presno. This one gets him swinging, and Josh Haley has now recorded 6 strikeouts as we're in the bottom of the 7th inning. 2 outs for the Glacier Pilots as Elliot Curtis will stand into the dish. Another one of these Pilots that's 0 for 2 tonight. Curtis, if he wants to extend this hitting streak, will need a hit, as he will be due up for the 9th inning as well, but would not want to put all that pressure in the 9th. As Josh Haley delivers a strike low, 0-1. Next pitch into Curtis. This one is tapped over to short. Charging in is Drew Swift, and as always, makes the strong throw for out number 3. So Josh Haley gets back in the swing of things and retires the Pilots in order to end this 7th inning. Miners hold a 3-2 lead over the Glacier Pilots. We head into the 8th inning when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
The Alaska Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
This is Aaron Walters from Texas A&M University. I'm a catcher, infielder, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Raleigh Pig on for his 2nd inning of relief, as we have now entered the 8th inning of play here between the Matsu Miners and the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. The Miners trying to go to 22-13 on the season, where the Pilots are trying to edge ever so slightly to that 500 mark and enter 15-17. It's a tight one right now, 3-2, Miners atop. And Austin Pinarini will get things started in the 8th inning. Pig came in last inning. The bases were full, but he got his way out of it, and no score was to be had, as we've only seen a combined total of 5 runs tonight in 11 hits. So really a pitching-dominated night. But the Miners look to add some insurance here in the 8th inning. Pig's first pitch just misses outside to Austin Pinarini. Pinerini trying to get things going right now. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Now 10 of 31 against the Glacier Pilots. So Pigs 1-0. This one fouled off to the left side. Count will move to 1-1. So Pinerini, who was no hit last night and has now had no hits in past 2 games, that's only the second time this season he's gone down consecutively. As he takes the strike on the outside portion of the plate, 1-2. So the left-handed hitting Pinerini will have to protect here. He struck out once back in the 4th inning and only struck out 15 times this season. So the 1-2 pitch, Pinerini gets a piece of it to foul it off. So he'll stay alive at 1-2. So the Pilots, they scored in the 1st inning, but that was it for them. And then the Miners scoring 2 in the 4th and 1 in the 6th to give them a 3-2 advantage over the Pilots currently. Pig kicks and deals. His 1-2 once again fouled off by Austin Pinerini. So trying to stay alive right now is Pino. On deck is Nick Brooks. He is responsible for all 3 of the Miners' runs, thanks to a 2-run home run and an RBI single. Pigs 1-2 offering. That misses in the turf. Will actually bounce away from Zach Presno and roll over to the right side. So the count is now all tied up at 2. Pinerini was an all-star, just participated in that game for the Miners this past Sunday in Mulcahy. Has a bit of a delay in exchange of baseballs, but we have a 2-2 count. Top of the 8th inning, Miners atop 3-2. Pig looks in, his 2-2 dealing. That misses well outside. Presno really had to reach out the arm to make the catch. So Pinerini, after falling behind 1-2, has now worked the count full to begin the 8th inning. Pig kicks and deals. He'll miss high, so Pinerini will gladly take his base. So the Miners get their leadoff runner on yet again. That's the 4th time tonight they've done so. As Pig, that's now his 3rd walk issued tonight. As Spencer Henson will step to the dish. Rather, Nick Brooks. They look similar, Henson and Brooks.
They're both big boys.
Yes, they are. The big boppers they're considered on this Miners team. Brooks, in his past 2 at-bats, 2 hits and 3 RBIs. So he'll look to extend that right now as Pig checks over at first, Pinerini diving back in time. So Brooks now 5 hits on the season in 14 at-bats on a 4-game hit streak, as he's only played in 5 games now. The Pigs' first pitch into Brooks. This one a high shot into shallow right field. Knowles is under it, calling everyone off. He'll make the catch for out number 1. So it took a long time for that ball to come down, but when it did, Ryan Knowles was able to capture it.
That was a major league pop-up off the bat of Nick Brooks and just didn't have any distance.
No, it really didn't. It's always hard to catch those, especially the big-bodied Brooks really sends them high in the air. So with 1 out and a man on first, Aaron Walters will step to the dish. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Had a hit in his first at-bat in the 2nd inning. Pigs' first offering to Aaron Walters. Misses outside to the left-hander, 1-0. So righty on lefty matchup. As the Miners coming into tonight, scoring 21 runs in their past 5 games. So checking Pinerini yet again is Pig 1-0. Pinerini has yet to steal a bag this season, but does move well on the bases. Has 2 triples to his name. So Walters 1-0. That misses outside. The quick snap down throw by Presno, not in time. So Walters is ahead in the count, 2-0. Walters has only walked 5 times this season, but it could come at a great time. So Pig comes set from his waist. 2-0 offering. This one's hit high in the air into center field. Foscolina moving back and ranging over to his left. He'll make the catch in left center field. So allowed out there from Aaron Walters. As Pinerini gets back in time for as there's now 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning. So Tyler Bozetti will step to the dish with that hit in his last at-bat in the 7th inning. Extended his hit streak to 9, which coming into tonight, he was batting .375 with 5 RBIs in that span. So he looks to increase that right now as there's 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Miners leading 3-2. Bozzetti takes the strike. Count moves to 0-1. So Pinerini got things going in the 8th inning with a walk, and it's been stranded on there for 2 outs, but Bozzetti looks to extend this visiting half, as he'll take a ball high from Raleigh Pig. Pig just finishing up his freshman campaign at Lewis and Clark College. So Pig from the stretch. Pinerini on the move as that pitch missed low. He'll get there in time. The throw was late from Zach Presno, and now the Miners with a runner in scoring position in the top of the 8th inning for Tyler Bozzetti. And mentioned that is going to be the first stolen base for Austin Pinerini, but we have seen him move well around the bases. So Bozzetti now in position. Had that 2-run home run last night. So Pigs 2-1 delivered. Swung on and missed by Tyler Bozzetti. The count moves to 2-2. Bozzetti striking out 24 times this season. Last night, only striking out once. First time in a bit for Tyler Bozzetti. He's doing a good job of putting the ball in play. But the count is tied up at 2 with 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Pig checks second. Now motions to the plate. A big bender that just misses inside to Tyler Bozzetti. The count has been worked full now by Tybo.
Just inside. That was a very close breaking ball to take from Bozzetti, but he's got better eyes down there than we do up here. So nice job of laying off.
So Betty, this payoff pitch, Bozzetti, a 2-hopper over to Mumper, charging in and making the throw on the run for out number 3. So the Miners get a runner in scoring position, but they'll leave him stranded. They do, however, hold a 3-2 lead over the Glacier Pilots as we enter the bottom of the 8th inning on Matsu Miners Radio.
Started indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Alaskan Railroad and Operation Lifesaver would like to remind our friends and neighbors when approaching a railroad crossing, always expect to train. Look, listen, live.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
So the southpaw hurler for the Miners will enter his 8th inning of work. Haley has gone 7 innings twice now on the season, so his 3rd time obviously being tonight as his Miners lead the Pilots 3-2. He'll face the 9-1-2 batters of the Glacier Pilots, Foscolina, Aruda, and Ryan Knowles. So Foscolina 0 for 2 tonight as he sits 2-15 currently against the Miners. So Haley from the wind. His first pitch is tapped just out by his outstretched glove. Drew Swift will come up to make the play in time for out number 1. So that brings up Jordan Aruda, who ended the 12 hitters retired in a row streak by Josh Haley in this game back in the 6th inning with an infield single. And that is his first hit of the night. Actually reached in the 1st inning as well and scored that first run. So now has scored in 6 of the past 7 games played. So the first pitch from Josh Haley misses outside the left-handed hitting Aruda. We're out of Fresno State, we mentioned, coming into tonight, batting .286, good for 7th in the ABL, as also has that .403 on base percentage, but he swings through yet another pitch by Josh Haley, or rather the first pitch, so 1-1 is the count, with 1 down here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Haley's next pitch is a fastball that hits the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes, bottom of the 8th inning. Jordan Aruda at the dish. In this final regular season matchup between Miners and Pilots. This 1-2 hits the turf, so Aaron Walters blocks it as the count is now tied up at 2. The Miners have already won the season series as it sits at 7-3 currently. As this one's tapped foul to the left side by Jordan Ruda. Count still tied up at 2 with 1 out. And Ruda now with 13 hits against the Miners on the season. 13 of 35. So Haley's 2-2 offering. Hit in the air foul. Jordan Ruda stays alive here with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th inning as it's coming down to crunch time. And it's only a 1-run ball game as it looks like this will be the 7th time these two teams have ended a matchup with the game settled with 2 runs or less. Haley's 2-2 offering just misses high for ball 3. So full count, nice at bat here from Jordan Ruda.
And Josh Haley's a guy who doesn't walk many, so let's see.
This 3-2, a jam job, but Aruda fouled it straight back. So he'll stay alive at 3-2. And this top, or not necessarily top to the middle part of the order is what really did the damage, has done the damage against Josh Haley tonight. So Haley looking for a second out. The payoff pitch. And actually seemed like Nate DeSantis was going to motion for a strike 3. Jordan Aruda, it seemed like, took a step towards the home dugout, but they checked down, and Scott Johnson said he did not go. So that'll be a walk, and Jordan Aruda is on first with 1 out here in the 8th inning. As pitching coach Jeff Erlab will talk to Josh Haley. This is now his longest outing of the season. That's 7 1/3.
Well, he's also now at 85 pitches, so very effective through 8 innings for Josh Haley.
You know, Haley, a dignified starter on this minor squad. His pitch count, or his pitch limit, I would have to imagine, is upwards 95, 100 pitches. Obviously, that is not a number that was told to us at all, but that was what I would assume.
Something around there. And during the summer ball season, I know a lot of college coaches, they worry about, are you going to throw my guy too long? Are you going to throw him too many innings, too many pitches? And Ben Taylor and Jeff Erlab do a nice job of keeping them in their comfort zones. They pitch as much as they need to and just to improve and get better on the season.
And definitely, so Josh Haley will stay on the rubber with 1 out. As Ryan Knowles looked to bunt, he pulled it back as that pitch missed low and away for a ball. Knowles from the left side of the dish, 1 for 3 tonight, but grounded into a double play in his last at-bat. Josh Haley would like to see that play happen again. As this pitch is a fastball that hits the outside part of the plate. Count moves to 1-1. For Jordan Aruda, you have to be careful at him on base paths as he has 16 stolen bases, and Josh Haley will check him back. So 1-1 is the count, 1 down. We sit in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Miners ahead of the Pilots, 3-2. Haley's 1-1. This fouled off to the left side and out of play. So he's ahead in the count, 1-2. And Haley has had some really quality starts. In all of his starts, he's gone 6 or longer. And the most he's allowed is 3 earned runs, 4 runs in total. And that came in his last start against this Pilots team. So this 1-2, a flare, but will slice foul and out of play. So nice job by Ryan Knowles to foul it off, who now on a 10-game hit streak thanks to that hit in the first inning. Does have 7 multi-hit games to his resume. So doing more than just adding that 1 hit and sort of calling it a night. But Haley's ahead in the count, 1-2. His pitch just fouled off by Ryan Knowles that it hit Aaron Walters' face mask and fouled all the way back. So the count sits at 1-2. Pilots are near the basement in batting average at 226, but they could use a hit right here. Haley checks over, but Aruda was back in time. They only have 4 hits tonight and scored those 2 runs in the first inning, have been quiet ever since. Haley's 1-2 with a man on the move. Strike him out. Well, it'll be they throw him out. The throw was off the mark, but Josh Haley gets the second out of the inning thanks to a strikeout by Ryan Knowles. 7 strikeouts now for Josh Haley on the evening, up to 35 now on this summer campaign. But Jordan Aruda does move into scoring position with his 17th stolen base of the season. And with 2 outs, Mark Mumper will step in from the right-handed batting box. But Josh Haley working from the stretch. And the Pilots with a speedy runner on second. First pitch to Mumper. This is inside for a ball, 1-0. Mumper tonight is 1 for 1 for 3. 1 for 3, reached on an error back in the first and a double back in the sixth. So Haley misses yet again, 2-0. He'll take a deep breath, and a much-needed deep breath. He seems to be pitching a little quicker this inning. But when you get in any kind of rhythm and it's work, you're going to stay that way.
Now up to 93 pitches, so nearing that 95 kind of 100 mark.
And there's a fastball that hits the upper outside corner. So 2-1 to Mark Mumper. He's driven in 16 RBIs this season. It's good for 6th coming into tonight. Like to drive one in right now to tie this game up at 3. Haley's 2-1. This one just hit over the head of Caleb Van Blake. Charging in is Austin Pinerini. He won't be able to make the play. Coming in to score is Jordan Aruda. This game's tied at 3. Mark Mumper came in tonight, tied for 6 with RBIs at 16. Now has 17, thanks to that base hit knocking in Jordan Aruda. So that stolen base proves to be costly, as the Pilots and Miners are now all tied up at 3, and that'll draw a mound visit from skipper Ben Taylor, and Josh Haley's night will be over. What a performance, though, from Josh, as right now sits at 3 runs given up, all of them being earned. So we'll introduce the new man on the mound for the Miners when we come back on Matsu Miners Radio. Matsu Miners Internet Broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Matsu Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
You know what really gets a party started? Indoor baseball. Yeah, just find a broom or a pool cue, and you can use like anything as a ball. Cans, bottles, shoes.
Hey, bro, toss me that avocado.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving, the ultimate party foul. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Caleb Van Blake, infielder from UC Davis, and you're listening to Matsu Miners Radio.
Nathan Bach will be the man to relieve Josh Haley here in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Pilots just tied this one up thanks to an RBI single from Mark Mumper. So Josh Haley right now has gone 7 2/3 innings, his longest start of the summer, has given up 5 hits, only walked 2, and struck out 7. The runner on first is his responsibility. So if he were to come around and score, it would be attested to Josh Haley. But Nathan Bach has been a shutdown guy out of Southeast Missouri State, riding a 11 innings pitched scoreless inning streak. Has only allowed an earned run once on July 14th versus the Bucks and once on July 11th against the Chinooks. So he comes in with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning, all squared up at 3, as the Miners do hold a season series lead 7-3. This is the last game in that series. So Bach, through 19 2/3 innings pitched, a .91 ERA, and 15 appearances, has a couple saves to his resume, and has struck out 16 and only walked 9. So he comes in, is a force out at second, as Mumper stands on first, and Braden Daniel will step up to the dish from the left side. He's reached twice tonight, back in the 1st inning on a walk, and then in the 6th inning with a hit. But this will be the first time that the Pilots are seeing a new pitcher since the first pitch was thrown. And Nathan Bach has definitely been a shutdown guy for the Miners. So Daniel steps in. He'll try to extend this 8th inning. This game's already been tied up at 3. Has only combined 12 hits, only 5 for the Pilots. The Bach's first pitch. Mumper threatened he was going to move, but that pitch to miss high, 1-0. So Mumper is dangerous on the season. Does have 9 stolen bases. So Braden Daniel looking for back-to-back hits from the left side of the batter's box. Bach comes set from his chest. Here's 1-0. Hit high and foul, out of play to the left side. So Bach delivers a strike, 1-1. Bach in his last appearance was on July 12th, where he was the winning pitcher in 2/3 innings pitched, did not allow a run, and only 1 hit and 3 batters faced. So 1-1 is the count, 2 outs. Bottom of the 8th inning. The Miners trying to get back on their winning ways after dropping last night. And the Pilots trying to back on winning ways as well. As this one grounded over to second, Caleb Van Blake moves over to his left and makes the play over to third in time for out number 3. Over to first, I should say. But not before the Glacier Pilots score a run on 1 hit thanks to Mark Mumper. And this thing's tied up at 3 heading into the final inning of regulation here on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Welcome back in as we're in the 9th and final inning of regulation here from Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage, Alaska. The Pilots' new pitcher on the mound is going to be number 21, Zachariah Gerard, a two-way player for the Pilots. First pitch into Braden Merritt is fouled off and over to the left side. So I mentioned that Gerard played multiple positions for this Pilots squad and has appeared in 5 games with a 2.25 ERA. Currently sits ahead in the count 0-2 to Braden Merritt. So 9-1-2 batters are due up right now for the Miners. Merritt sits at an 0-2 count. This game's tied at 3. Pilots tied it up in the bottom of the 8th. And that pitch nails the outside corner for strike 3.
No, strike 3 called on Braden Merritt. Not the way you want to start things off here in the top of the 9th inning, but with Drew Swift coming up, I'm sure Miners will look to have a little rally in the Valley.
Yeah, we wish we were in the Valley. It would be nice to have that home support from Herman Brothers Field, but the Miners looking to get it done on the road. If they could win tonight, it would raise them to 10-9, so just above the 500 mark. Drew Swift looks at a ball 1-0. Gerard's 1-0 pitch. That misses well outside. Count goes to 2 balls, no strikes, with 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. Mentioned the Pilots scoring in the bottom of the 8th. It tied it up at 3. That was the first time they had brought across a run since the first inning. As Drew Swift pops one up into shallow right field, Ryan Knowles calls everyone off and makes the catch for out number 2. So first 2 up and first 2 down for the Mat-Su Miners here in the 9th inning. They will look to get a run across, or else the Pilots will just need 1 to walk it off in the bottom of the 9th inning. Kona Quiggle steps up to the dish. This is his 5th at-bat of the night, but only 0 for 3 as he reached in the 7th via a walk. Gerard's first pitch to Quiggle has him swinging through. So Zachariah Gerard relieving Raleigh Pigg, who went 2 scoreless innings for the Pilots. Really big innings of relief. Gerard misses well inside to Kona Quiggle, as Quiggle had to bounce out of the way of that one. Count goes to 1-1. Gerard, the big right-hander for the Pilots. So Gerard winds and deals. This pitch misses high, 2 balls and 1 strike with 2 down. So Conequiggle has been clutch this season. Walked it off once for the Miners and also had a hit that led to a walk-off. Fortunately, no walk-off situation in the top of the 9th. So he swings through a Gerard fastball. The count is tied up at 2. So all squared up at 3 here in the 9th inning. Gerard's 2-2 delivery. This one hit in between first and second. Moving over to his right is McCann. Makes a nice backhand, but his throw to first is well off the mark. And Conequiggle will reach on an error that extends this visiting half of the 9th inning. And now the go-ahead run is on base. Connor, I know it's not a big hit and it's only on first, but the Miners did need a runner on, and it was right there.
Well, it's always important to get somebody on. You can't just depend on having a solo home run. It's much easier to have somebody on and have a little base hit. Play a little small ball right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's really the heart of your order comes a little earlier, and Henson batting second tonight, but he steps to the dish, has home run power. So Gerard's first pitch to Henson is looked at for a strike on the upper inside corner. Henson tonight does have a hit and 2 walks to add to that as well in the 4th and 7th inning, and a hit coming in the 6th inning rather. So Conequiggle stands on first as Henson gets a hold of one, hits it high into left field. Braden Danny will watch it sail over the left field wall. Spencer Henson delivers big time for the Matsu Miners as they now lead the Anchorage Glacier Pilots 5-3 in the top of the 9th inning. What a hit for Spencer Henson, his 6th home run of the season, now 26 RBIs. He is yoked.
Hello, Henson. Man, oh man, that was a bomb deep to left field, and right when the Matsu Miners needed it most. Spencer Henson has come up clutch yet again. Amazing from Spencer.
Just absolutely incredible as he sends one over that left field wall. The Smash Brothers have delivered big time today. 2 home runs between them as Caleb Van Blake, I believe, was almost hit in the head and now starts walking towards the mound. And it's now both managers are coming out and facing each other in Ben Taylor. Benches are clearing. A lot of controversy. Umpires trying to hold it together as it seems like Gerard intentionally threw at his head. Ben Taylor not happy with him at all. Neither was Van Blake, who originally took a step to first. Now all benches have cleared. The Miners dugout has, or rather bullpen has entered as we sit at a standoff right now. Seems like right now no one has been thrown out of the ball game. Everyone being told to relax. Ben Taylor telling his squad to head back. And now telling the Pilots to hold off as well. And you had to wonder, Spencer Henson with that sort of bat flip, but it wasn't at the Pilots dugout. He turned around to his own dugout and then kind of flipped the bat.
Well, he flipped the bat, and of course, any pitch near the head you don't want to see. And to throw at a guy, the next batter after you give up a game-changing home run right there, not something that looks favorably upon the pitcher.
No, and that's just not right at all by Gerard. It's a fastball high and in. I would hate to assume, but you have to guess that there was some motive behind it, as Van Blake especially not excited with it, because that puts a player in danger, and there's just no reason for that. No. I understand you can talk about it after the game of coaches, like, let's be men here, guys. Let's not put other people's injury in danger. So everything has calmed down now. No one has appeared to be thrown out of the ball game. And I don't even know if there's been warnings as well.
I would have to assume that there's been warnings to the benches, maybe. But again, we haven't seen anything. That's just an assumption.
So to quickly bring things back to life here, Spencer Henson in the previous at-bat hit a 2-run home run. Miners now lead the Glacier Pilots 5-3 in the top of the 9th inning. Caleb Van Blake, a 1-0 count after a questionable pitch that was a high and inside to him. But we're ready back for baseball. Van Blake sends one deep right, but it is foul as he got a hold of that one, but unfortunately was just ahead of it. So the count goes to 1-1 with 2 outs. Miners, this would be a huge win on the road after dropping a tough one last night. Gerard's 1-1 at misses in the turf, 2-1. So tensions rising here in Mulcahy. The Miners right now getting the last laugh as they lead 5-3. This is now the second time the Miners have been involved in a benches clearing battle. So this time is dribbled over to the right side, 2-2. Luckily, both times no one was injured or thrown out, just benches being warned. So Gerard 2-2, 2 down, top of the ninth. Winds and deals. Van Blake hitting a tapper right back to him. And Gerard will underhand toss to first for out number 3. But not before Spencer Henson sends one over the left field wall and gives the Miners a 5-3 lead heading into the bottom of the ninth here in Mulcahy. Miners leading the Pilots 5-3. Keep it here on Mat-Su Miners Radio. Mat-Su Miners Internet broadcast is sponsored by the Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and owner Jim Ruda. Stop into one of your locally owned and operated Napa Auto Parts of Alaska and ask about a Mat-Su Miners jersey giveaway. So stop in and enter for your chance to win today.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
What's up, guys? This is Spencer Henson, infielder at Oral Roberts University, and you're listening to Mat-Su Miners Radio.
So what an exciting top half of the ninth inning as Spencer Henson had a 2-run home run to give the Miners a 5-3 lead as we enter the bottom of the ninth. So looking to get the final 3 outs is at the top of the saves chain, Bryce Tossan has 7 on the season and in 14 appearances, has pitched 16 innings, has a 1.12 ERA, and has struck out 20 and only walked 4. He allowed 2 runs in his first appearance, since has not allowed any in those 14 innings pitched. And actually, in his first outing came against the Glacier Pilots, he gave up those 2 runs. So he'll face McCann, Rollinson, and Fresno, who look to get 2 runs to tie this game up at 5. But Bryce Tossan looking for his 8th save of the season and trying to give the Miners their 10th road win of the season and trying to put the Pilots to 14-18 as the Pilots are in 4th place and the Miners atop of the ABL. So bottom of the 9th inning, Mulcahy Stadium in Anchorage. An exciting one. We'll see how it ends. Bryce Tossan's first pitch. This one lined right at Tyler Brosetti. Just gets through his glove and will just dribble into left field. So an unfortunate happening there for Tyler Brosetti. Couldn't quite get the leather on it. That's going to go down as an error. So Aaron McCann, that first man on for the Pilots. Leadoff man on. It brings the tying run to the dish.
Well, it was just a hard hit ball from Aaron McCann. Found the glove of Bassetti, but it was in and out. Just took his eyes off at the last second.
So the runner on first. Mentioned tying run at the plate. We're going to have a pinch runner in the game for the Glacier Pilots. That is number 7, Jake Cosgrove is the pinch runner. So Eli Rollinson will step to the dish. He's 0 for 3 tonight, but it's the tying run of this ball game as the Glacier Pilots trail the Miners 5-3. 0 for 3 tonight has flown out in his past 2 at-bats, so Bryce Tossan will work from the stretch. First pitch is fouled over to the right side and out of play. 0-1. So Cosgrove does have 3 stolen bases on the season as he currently stands on first. So the count goes to 0-1. Rollinson from the right side of the dish with the slightly open stance. Tossan's offering, misses low and inside, 1-1. So Bryce Tossan has appeared in 4 games against the Glacier Pilots. In 5 innings pitched, has only allowed 2 runs. We mentioned that. All came in that first outing and has struck out the Pilots 9 times. Breaking ball misses low as the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Bryce Tossan out of southeastern Louisiana. Right-handed closer for the Miners looking to shut things down. His 2-1 pitch. Fastball that just misses. A hitter's count now to Eli Rollinson. Rollinson has walked 6 times this season, and the Pilots are second in the league in walks. Came into tonight with 132. So Tossan takes a deep breath, now motions to the plate. He'll miss outside with that pitch, and now the game-winning run will come to the plate for the Glacier Pilots.
And we talked about the guy, Zach Presno, earlier on. He hit a long ball deep into left field, just foul. And now Presno has a chance here to win it with 1 swing.
And really good to see immediately after the walk, Spencer Henson taking a trip to the mound, wanting to calm down his closer in Bryce Tossan. Now Jeff Erlab will make a mound visit. So a quick game recap. The Miners, their scoring came thanks to a 2-run home run in the 4th inning. And then in the 6th inning, Nick Brooks had an RBI single. And then in the top of the 9th inning, Spencer Henson had a 2-run home run. That gives them their 5 runs. And the Pilots scored in the 1st inning off a 2-run error, which was charged to Josh Haley. And then in the 8th, thanks to an RBI single of Mark Mumper, that is their 3 runs. So the score sits 5-3. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. The Pilots have runners on 1st and 2nd. McCann got things going, got on base, doing an error charge to Tyler Bozetti, and then got pinch ran for. And moved over was Jake Cosgrove, the pinch runner, thanks to a walk of Eli Rollinson. Meeting adjourned, and Bryce Tossan will toe the rubber facing Zach Presno. 0-3 tonight, but as Connor mentioned, hit a long foul ball that if that was fair, it would have been gone. It would be the go-ahead run, or rather the winning run. It's just 5-3. Tossan brings the heat, though, with that first pitch, has Presno swinging. Presno 0-3 tonight with 2 strikeouts. Now 2 of 14 against the Matsu Miners. So Tossan looking in, trying to get his signals as every moment ever so crucial. Tossan takes a look at second, now goes to the plate. Misses just high with the fastball to Zach Presno, 1-1. As the Miners bullpen is on the edge of their seats out there, just behind left field. Eager to see what their man Bryce Tossan can do. As Nate Bach came in, delivered a scoreless 3rd innings pitched. Tossan's 1-1. This is a fastball that hits the upper part of the zone. He's ahead in the count, 1-2.
And this is an out Bryce Tossan needs. If he wants to get out of this inning unscathed, he's got to get Zach Presno right here and right now.
So ever so crucial pitch. 1-2 the count, nobody out in the bottom of the 9th. Runners on 1st and 2nd. Tossan kicks and deals a breaking pitch. Excellent block though by Aaron Walters to hold the runners on 1st and 2nd. So the count goes to 2-2 to Zach Presno, the catcher out of Fresno State. So Tossan looks in, trying to set down his 21st strikeout of the season. His 2-2. This one, a liner into left field. Kona Quiggle originally slipping when trying to come in, but recovers to make the catch for out number 1. It was not deep enough for any of the runners to advance. And F7 is the first out here in the bottom of the 9th. First out's always probably one of the hardest ones to get, and Bryce Tossan did just that.
Well, you get the first out. Hopefully more start rolling in. 1 is out of the way, and now it's time to settle down, get the next 2.
So Bryce Tossan looking for his 8th save, has 1 out now in the bottom of the 9th. The Pilots with runners on 1st and 2nd as they trail 5-3. First pitch into Elliott Curtis is fouled off to the left side and out of play. Curtis is 0-3 tonight, as this is, unless the Pilots tie this game up and extend it, it's his last opportunity to extend his 5-game hit streak. But currently sits 0-1 with 1 down. So Tossan looks in with that right arm dangling. Comes set from his waist. Takes a long look at second. Now is ready to motion to the plate. Fastball just misses low. Counts now 1-1. So Aaron Walters will call time to talk to his pitcher. Every pitch very, very serious right now. As Curtis is only 3 of 16 coming into this game against the Miners, but went 2 for 4 in the last time these two teams squared off. Bryce Tossan, if he can get into a double play, the Miners defense is very strong and would end this ball game. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Miners 5, Pilots 3. They do have runners on first and second, tying on first. Winning run at the plate from the left side, and Elliot Curtis. Bryce Tossan's been working from the stretch ever since he came in this game. 1-1, a fastball that hits the lower portion of the plate. 1-2. So Bryce Tossan yet again ahead of a Pilots batter. 1-2. Dominic Foscolina awaits in the on-deck circle. Unless Curtis has a double play, he will step to the dish. So Tossan's 1-2 pitch. Hits the outside corner for strike 3. Bryce Tossan gets Elliot Curtis looking for the second out of the bottom of the 9th inning. Bryce Tossan now has struck out at least one batter in 13 of his 15 appearances on the season. So 2 down, Dominic Foscolina steps to the dish. The right-handed hitting batter is 0 for 3 tonight. Only 2 of 15 against the Miners, but is still the winning run as the Miners lead 5-3. Tossan's first offering to Foscolina is hit in the air to right. Moving back is Austin Pinerini. That's going to get over his head. One hop the wall. Around third, coming in to score is Cosgrove. Now trying to score all the way from first is Elliot Curtis, or rather Eli Rollinson. He will. And the Pilots tied this game up at 5 thanks to a Dominic Foscolina 2 RBI triple. Foscolina delivers big, and what a time to extend your 4-game hitting streak.
Well, just really unfortunate for Tossan and the Miners here. After the momentum went their way, this inning did not. An error to lead things off, and it's kind of spiraled down from there, and now only 1 out away from entering into extra innings.
As the winning run only 90 feet away as Jordan Arruda steps to the dish. He does have a hit tonight, so Bryce Tossan trying to at least extend this game as Arruda's first pitch swinging. It's out of play to the right side, 0-1. So Tossan now has allowed only 4 runs all season, but unfortunately they've come in his first and now most recent appearance against the Pilots. We're tied at 5 now in the bottom of the 9th. Tossan misses high and away for a ball, 1-1. 2 down. Arruda is 1 for 3 tonight. Reached on an error in the first, a base hit in the 6th, and a walk in the 8th. Does have 7 RBIs. Been a fun one so far. We'll see if the Miners can extend it. Is the liner right up the middle? That'll do it. Jordan Arruda walks it off for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. They win tonight 6-5 over the Mat-Su Miners. So a real heartbreaking loss for the Mat-Su Miners after scoring 2 runs in the top of the 9th inning. They allow 3 in the bottom of the 9th as Jordan Arruda is celebrated just beyond second base as he walked it off for the Anchorage Glacier Pilots. So with this win, the Glacier Pilots moved to 15-17. The Miners dropped to 21-14 and now sub 500 on the road at 9-10. So Connor, no post-game show tonight. What are your final thoughts on the ball game?
Well, just real unfortunate. It was great for Spencer to hit the 2-run homer to give the Miners a lead in the top of the 9th, but a tough outing for Bryce Tossan here on the bottom of the 9th. Even more important, if we go to the standings downtown scoreboard, the Oilers lead the Chinooks by a score of 3-2. That game's in the bottom of the 8th. We'll be keeping a close eye on that one. But the Miners, as of right now, still a 3-game lead in the ABL. Unfortunate loss here to the Pilots, and just it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really is, as it's been back-to-back nights now that the Miners have really fell in heartbreaking fashion. It really hurts tonight with emotion-filled, really, Connors. We saw it in the 9th inning, both benches clearing. So that's a game that you really want to win, and it always hurts when you drop a tough one. So your final tally, the Miners scoring 5 runs on 9 hits. They had 2 errors and left 7 on base. The Pilots scoring 6 runs on 7 hits. They left 4 on base. Zachariah Gerard is your winning pitcher tonight. Bryce Tossan will be credited for the loss. So for the final time tonight, the Pilots walk it off against the Mat-Su Miners in Mulcahy Stadium, 6-5. For Connor Mills, this is Brad Walker. And as always, it's been a pleasure.